Okay, resellers, I was trying to kind of figure things out with this Poshmark change. Poshmark fees are changing. The Poshmark discounted shipping situation is changing. We found out about this on October 3rd, 2004. And like you guys, I'm just a reseller. I don't work for Poshmark. I don't get special treatment from Poshmark. Um, I don't know that they know who I am. I'm not really that special. And so I don't have any inside information. I'm figuring this out just like you guys are. And so I love that you come to me and ask the questions. Like, I love that. That makes me feel like you trust me, you trust my opinion, and you listen to what I have to say. And I appreciate that. I love doing this channel to help you guys and share what I know. And I do take seriously that I act like a teacher and I act like I know what I'm talking about. And to a certain extent, I think I do, right? I've had success on Poshmark. And for those of you that are just getting started or just haven't figured out your stride yet, a lot of the things I share about my offer strategies, having strategies, processes, systems, all the different things that I talk about to increase your sales, like, I believe in all of that. It's what works for me. It may not work for everyone, but I believe in sharing it because then I get feedback from you that says, hey, I tried your offer to like or strategy and I made 3 sales, or I just started doing my shoppers and it hasn't even finished yet and I already made 2 sales. And so it's something you weren't doing. You listened to me, you found out about something, and then you did it and it worked for you and it made you sales. That makes me happy. That's why I do this. I enjoy doing it. And obviously it is I do make some money from my AdSense. It's not a lot. I make some money every time you use one of my links to sign up for something. I appreciate it. It's not a lot, but it does make it worth, my time to do all these things. But I've told you guys this before. If it were up to me, I'd just do the teaching and stop doing the reselling. Like, I like doing the teaching and the sharing and the helping and the coaching and the making of products and resources and courses and whatever. I like doing all this Rebecca the reseller stuff way more than I like doing my reselling stuff. Like, reselling stuff is boring to me. I don't love it. I don't love fashion. It gets boring and old. And I think the only reason why it gets interesting is when sales get slow, I have to figure out the puzzle of how can I increase my sales again, or how can I keep the same amount of sales but do less work. And like, that's the only thing about reselling that is interesting to me because I just like that puzzle. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I like figuring out the crises and the puzzles and the problems. So anyway, the point is that we are now faced with a new challenge, right? Poshmark, where we sell, right? We don't sell on our own website. Poshmark is the platform where we choose to sell, and perhaps among other platforms. And they have decided to make a change to suit their business. So remember, they have their own business. Their business depends on our business, but it doesn't really necessarily always align with or look out for our business. And I'm not saying that this doesn't. I'm just saying, just always keep that in the back of your mind, that Poshmark is a business on its own, and they make money in certain ways, which may or may not always align with your individual business goals or ways that you individually want to make money. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying anything bad. So we have these fees. What I'm going to do is I've had a few sales, not many actually, unfortunately. I've had a few sales since the changes, so I want to explain a few things. I'm going to go through the actual Poshmark information that they put out because some people aren't looking it up on their own. They're saying, what are the changes? Look it up on your own, people. It's there for you, just like it's there for me. But if you want to hear me say it to you, I'm happy to do that. And then I just have some comments about what I'm doing right now and then what I think I'm going to do in the future, so that we can all kind of get on the same page as far as what I think, because the questions I've been getting are, Rebecca, we haven't heard from you. Like, I put out 2 posts on Instagram and on YouTube that just said, hey, Poshmark, I'd like for you to do these things. Please, this is like an immediate need that I see that would be helpful regarding the discounted shipping. And then, regarding the changes, my post was basically like, calm down. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine, because everybody gets all cuckoo crazy for Cocoa Puffs. So like, I can't do, it's just not in my nature to get all crazy about it. I look at information, I internalize it, I process it, I take it in, I do things, I test things out. Like I'll show you, I actually made a bunch of transactions back and forth with another reseller friend of mine so we could figure out how this works and what's happening, and we sent screenshots back and forth. And I know you may not all have that. You may not have a reseller friend to do that with. So that's what I'll share with you. So let's dive into all of it. I apologize, I'm not going to have my editor get involved in this, so I'm doing this and I'm doing this, and it's also not that exciting, but bear with me because I don't feel like paying an editor to get this video squared away. I just want to get this video up because the questions are coming in. So I have some recent sales, and I am starting to do more what sold videos. So I'm going to put those, up periodically, but these I'm just going to talk about this as far as the changes go. So I did 2 sales with my friend back and forth. So she bought this from me so we could see what happened. And then we canceled the sale. So this was on October 3rd. And so she bought these hand-painted rocks from me for $10. And it just shows me less seller fee of $2.02. And so on the seller side, you don't see the breakdown. And that I'm hoping maybe will come in the future. It'd be nice for us sellers to know what the breakdown is of these fees, but we don't have that right now. On the buyer side, which, let me think, I took screenshots of it. I might be able to pull it up in my photos, but I don't really want to pull up all my personal photos. So let me see if I can look at it on here. But where was that? Okay. Yeah. So on the buyer side, they do show that. So you buy something for $10. We know, according to, here's the fee structure on the Poshmark blog, which you can just Google Poshmark blog and you can find the latest blog post, and it's all here. They're basically saying that if it's under $15, the fee is now $1. Great, because it used to be $2.95. So that's great. Love that. Then for 15 to 50, it's $2, and for 50 and over, it's $3. My thoughts on this are great. I think that there is a subset of items in here where like it's not going to come out to be the same overall, but I felt like there were a few sales that I had where I'm like, this is like I made like, less than $1 more kind of thing. So I think that there's going to be a few things in each category where it's not going to be that much of a change because you have this plus the 5.99%. So they say we're getting rid of the 20% and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, but it's not because it's 1, 2, 3 plus 599, which is not easy to do. But anyway, so you got your $1, $2, or $3 fees, and then you have 5.99%. And they're doing all this math here. I'm not going to do any of that. So going back over here. So $1 of this is the fee. And then $1.02 of this $2.02 is the 5.99%. And that 5.99% is, from what I understand, calculated on the buyer's $10 plus the shipping plus tax. And then they calculate the 5.99%. And then that becomes your fee. And so I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So if we do the math on that, it's $10 plus 5.95 for shipping, plus they paid $1.26 in tax, comes to $17.21 is what I think the buyer paid for this. And if we multiply that by 0.0599, you get $1.03. So I'm just a little bit off. So $10 minus the $2.02 for all the fees, for the seller fees, I get $7.98. Now this is more than what I would have gotten before, because before it would have been $10 and then it would have been minus $2.95, which is already more than those seller fees, which would be $7.05. But typically many buyers are buying on an offer to likers, and I do the $5.95 shipping on that. So I was paying that shipping discount, which I just round to $2. I'm not sure what it is. Is it either $2.02 or $2.12 or whatever it was? I just always rounded it to 2. So I would be earning $5.05 my old way. If this item had sold on an offer to likers the old way, I'm making now $2, almost $3 more. So yay, seller, I make $3 more. Thanks so much. Am I going to change my price over $3? Probably not, but we'll get to that at the end. So that's what's happening. Now, as far as the buyer goes, the buyer is paying $10 plus $1 plus the 5.99 plus tax. So they're paying, around $17-ish, $17, $18-ish. And because that we can't see what they're paying. But I think what Poshmark is doing is that's why they added in that $5.95 shipping being paid for by them if they buy from a Posh ambassador, which we'll get to in a second, because that kind of offsets on these lower items the fees that they're paying. So the buyer is going to be paying now. Let's go back here. The buyer is going to be paying the same thing. They're going to be paying $1, $2, or $3, depending on how much, plus the 5.99%, which is they're calling a buyer protection fee. And so we're basically paying the same fees. I'm paying the same fees as the seller, and the buyer's paying the same exact fees. So what's good for me is kind of equally bad for them, give or take. And Poshmark gets all that money, so we'll leave that aside for the moment. So I think that because they're doing the shipping thing, that's going to offset a lot of the increased fees on the lower value items. It's not going to compensate for the higher value items, but for the lower value items, I think it's going to kind of be a wash. If they were going to pay $7.97 as full price shipping, now they're going to pay $5.95 in shipping, but like $1 or $2 in fees. So it's, it's kind of about the same for lower priced items. So that's that example. And that was somebody sending me an offer. Let's go to this one. And this was also somebody sending me an offer. Again, we were just testing this out. So it's $30 was the offer, minus $4.30 for the seller fee, and you're ending up with $25.70 in earnings. Now, before, if I sold these Eileen Fisher pants for $30, it would have been 80% of that. I would have gotten earnings of $24 minus the $2 shipping discount that I most likely would be sending. Now, on this, if they sent me an offer, that wouldn't be the case, but many things are on offer to likers. I make most of my sales through offer to likers, so I've always factored that in. So I'm going to compare it to that. So that's $22. So here I basically made $3.70 more. Now, if it didn't sell on an offer to likers, it's not that much better. $25 times 80. It's not 25, sorry. It's $30 times 80%. 24. So I'm making only about $2 more than this. So I feel like for the middle of the road items, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Like the lower end items, you'll make, I think, a good amount more because that fee was $2.95. But when you're in this middle of the road area, in the bracket that is $15 to $50, when you're in there, it might be a wash of whether you make a lot more or not. So like this, I'm like, whatever. But what I do love is that they're taking my fee out. I'm not paying the shipping discount fee, Poshmark is, so they're kind of sharing in that, and I'm getting that benefit because I'm a Poshmark ambassador, and I'm going to talk about that now. So I like that. I've always factored in that $2 into my, pricing formula. But now I don't have to worry about that. I just have to kind of deal with this one fee, which is 1, 2, or 3 plus 5.99%, which isn't necessarily easy, but at least I know what I'm dealing with on that. So I think that we are going to be doing a lot of estimating for a little while to kind of see how this really all pans out. Now, I have two more. What is this one? So this was a $25 sale, and this was also an offer, and I made $21.03, which was a little bit more than what I would have made otherwise. So that was that. But then this was the other one that I wanted to show, because this was on an offer to likers, and there had been some confusion about if I send out my 20% offer with $5.95 shipping, who is paying that shipping discount now that Poshmark has this shipping discount Posh Pass thing that they're doing? And the answer is, I'm not paying the shipping discount anymore. I used to be, but I'm not. So I think what I was concerned about and why I didn't make a video, because I needed to see how this all kind of played out. I didn't have anything to say until I saw it in action, is if someone accepts my offer, so I sent my offers out, they accepted my offer of $18, and this is the fee, which represents just the $2 flat fee plus the 5.99% together is $3.55. And this is, if it's sold before, yeah, this is only 5 cents more in earnings if there was no shipping discount. But because this was an offer that I sent out, I would have had a shipping discount. So I would have paid $2 more. So the fees would have been $16, and now I saved $2. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in certain scenarios, you're going to see a lot of savings on the lower end items and on the really higher end items. On the middle of the road items, it's going to be like barely, an inch or two. And so I think that people that are saying, oh, I'm going to lower prices, really do the math on it, because you may not want to do too much moving of the price, especially lowering the price on these middle of the road items. And many of you are selling middle of the road items. This $15 to $50 range, watch out what's happening there, especially on the lower end of it, because it's $2 and the fee, but you don't have that $50 price point. You only have, let's say, an $18 price point like here. So on this one, I'm only making $2 more. Am I going to really drop my price by $2? Like, is that really going to move the needle? I don't think so. So that's another example. Unfortunately, I haven't sold one of my big ticket items. I only have small price sales. But this one that sold today, this is good because I would have made only $5 and I made $8. So that is $3, again, on a $10 item more than I would have made before. So I like that. That's good to me. And I'm probably not going to change prices on this because this belt I have up for $15. She sent me an offer for $10. This is one of my multiple quantity listings. This is the right price for a belt. I don't want to sell the belt lower than that. Maybe every once in a while I'll accept an offer lower, but you shouldn't be buying a belt for less than $10. I'm sorry. Like, it's a belt. It's still a brand new belt. So don't go crazy, lowering your prices on all kinds of stuff, especially boutique items, because some things should be holding their value. So anyway, I haven't sold a bigger ticket item in this small, it's only been 2 days. I would like to, but I haven't. So I have many high ticket items available for sale. So if I get one of those sales, maybe I'll do another video. But I do just want to say a couple things about the shipping thing, and then I'll give you kind of my thoughts of what I'm doing. So the Posh Pass beta, make no mistake, they will be charging us in the future for this if you want to participate. This is definitely a way for Poshmark to make money. And I'm not saying that I won't do it, and I'm not saying that I will do it. We'll have to see what the price is. But obviously right now I'm going to enjoy the benefits of having been a Poshmark ambassador for years now, finally getting some kind of benefit for that. Although one could argue that, everybody that's going to try, everybody's going to try to be a Poshmark ambassador to get these benefits. So then what does it really mean? But anyway, so what is it? So Posh Pass means that your entire closet is going to have $5.95 shipping on all of the listings. So You could have had this. I have discounted shipping already on many of my listings, almost all of them. There's only a few boutique items that I don't have discounted shipping on. Pretty much I put discounted shipping across the board. And I used to have free shipping on, a while ago when that first came out, and then I did away with it and I just did the $5.95 shipping. So I love $5.95 shipping because it's way better than $7.97. And I didn't mind eating the $2 cost of it. And I built that into my pricing formula. So now that Poshmark is going to eat that cost for me across all of my listings, I love that. That's a big savings to my bottom line. I appreciate that. That's a good thing. And again, am I going to pay for it come the new year? Don't know. So this is only available right now for free for Posh ambassadors until the end of the year. So let's see how it goes. And Poshmark is paying the cost. So again, what I had asked for, I don't know if I want to pull up the post, but on my Instagram, what I had asked for from Poshmark, and I had asked resellers to forward it along and like DM it to Poshmark. This is what I said. And if you still want to do it, you can find it on my Instagram. But basically I said we need support on these items. We need discounted shipping icons automatically added to the listings of Poshmark ambassadors so that buyers can see in the search results that the seller has discounted shipping. Because right now, if you go, let me see how I would do this. So I don't really want to do a whole try to search for one of my items because maybe it's going to work or maybe it's not. But right now in my Poshmark closet, I have discounted shipping here because I put that. But there are items that don't have it, like some of my boutique items or my hand painted rocks. I don't have discounted shipping on it. So there's no way for a buyer to know that everything has discounted shipping. And so I'm saying Poshmark should put this little discounted shipping on all of my listings. They should be in the corner of everything, because then if I search, let's just try to find one of these because who knows if it'll come up. Coffee hand painted rock. There we go. Thank God it came up. It's you never know. So I'm a buyer. I searched for a coffee hand painted rock. Oh, it doesn't look like she has discounted shipping. Bummer. I don't want to pay that $16 plus $7 and blah, 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 all this stuff. So I'm saying Poshmark should be putting discounted shipping automatic on all of my listings. So I don't have to go through and do it on every single one. They should just put it on there automatically to help all of us. Not just me, you guys too, if you're a Poshmark ambassador. So that was number one. I mean, obviously, eventually I think I'm going to go through and do that and Poshmark's going to pay for it. But I didn't want to have to do that work. They're the ones that made this change. They should do it. The other thing is what happens when it goes away? If I choose not to pay for it, what happens then? If they put them on, are they going to take them off? So there's that too. The other thing is you want them to see it here. You want them to see it in your closet. So that's when I put discounted shipping banner automatically added to closet view of Poshmark ambassadors so that buyers can see at the closet level that this seller has discounted shipping. So if you go in here now to my closet, there's nothing that says here on my closet that this seller has discounted shipping. So it says I'm a Poshmark ambassador too, but if somebody doesn't know what that means, they're not going to know. It's telling me to check out my closet stats. Let's see if I close this. Nothing here. So if I'm just a person that's shopping in this closet, I have no idea that she has discounted shipping across all of her listings. They should do a banner for that. And then the next thing, full shipping amount should be crossed out and noted as discounted shipping at the shipping details level on a listing. So this is what I'm talking about. So when you click into a listing, it does have a banner here that says shop $5.95 discounted shipping on all listings from this closet. Well, thanks. They're in my listing, but you should put that on my closet, and then you should have put it on the cover shot so they see it in the search results. So when they're looking at my item compared to somebody else's item, they're going to want to come to my item because I'm the Poshmark ambassador with the fee discount. Anyway, so it says discounted shipping here, and then down here it says discounted shipping, but they're not doing it. I did that because that's what I had on it originally. So if you see it on, where's here? So they have the banner at top, thank you, fine, but then there's nothing here that says discounted shipping, and there's nothing down here that says discounted shipping. They could add that. They could easily trump my settings and add that. Now, the caveat here is if you offer a bigger discount than the $5.95 shipping, then you pay it. So if I was offering $4.99 shipping, Poshmark isn't offering that deal. Poshmark is offering $5.95 shipping. So if I was offering $4.99 shipping, I pay for it, the whole thing. So that's not good. If I was offering free shipping on it, I would have to pay the whole thing. That's on your listing, or if you're sending out an offer and your offer includes $4.99 discounted shipping, now you're eating that cost, not Poshmark. If you send an offer out with free shipping, you're eating that cost, not Poshmark. But if you play nice and you do $5.95 shipping, that's what Poshmark said they would cover. And so whether you send the offer or you have it on your listing, Poshmark is doing that for the Poshmark ambassadors through the end of the year. So I think that some of you may have some things to get in line there. For me, I wish that they would just blanket put all this stuff out, but they have not. So I will probably, one of the things that I need to do now is go through and add $5.95 discounted shipping to all of my listings so that it will say it here, it will say it up here, and it will say it in the search results. When someone is looking at all the options from their search, they'll see that mine has discounted shipping and maybe not somebody else that comes up next to me. So that's a differentiator. So I think that this is a good thing, this discounted shipping thing. I hope we get to all take advantage of it as much as possible between now and the end of the year. And then I'm curious to see how much it's going to cost. And then we would all need to do our own math, because if they say it's going to cost, $100 a month to pay this, but then all your listings get discounted shipping paid for by Poshmark, what you would need to do is look at how many sales do you make on average, what your discounted shipping rate discount is, which is about $2 if you're doing the $5.95. And so if you're making more than 50 sales a month, you might as well pay the subscription fee of $100. If you're making less than 50 sales per month, it's probably better just to pay it each time and not pay the subscription. So that's going to be an individual decision for everybody across the board, but it should be pretty straightforward to make. You just have to do your calculations and see, what makes sense for you. And I just made up that it's 100. I have no idea. If they say it's $295, we're all going to need to look at that. I don't know. I've never really added up how much I pay in shipping fees. I just kind of build it in. So I'd have to go back and look how many average sales have I had each month, and does it make sense, which I don't know those numbers off the top of my head. So especially because I'm literally doing this video on the fly and don't have all of my thoughts together. You guys know I usually have notes and everything planned out, and today I don't. So that's the fees. That's the shipping discount. I showed a few examples, one or two on the low side where it's under the $15, one or two from an incoming offer or an outgoing offer in the middle side. Unfortunately, like I said, I haven't had a big sale yet. I'd love to sell one of my, dresses that I have up for $300 or one of my designer shoes. That'd be great. But those haven't sold yet. And that will also be interesting to see. Do all of a sudden those kinds of sales come to a screeching halt because of those added fees to the buyer? I don't know. That bringing me to what am I doing? Initially, I thought, well, if they're adding fees to the buyer and they're subtracting fees to me, logically, I should probably lower some prices. And then I kind of thought a little bit more about it. And I said, I need to see how this works and how it plays out. One, because if there's so much uproar, you never know, Poshmark may walk something back. And so I would hate to go through the process of making a bunch of changes all at once. And then Poshmark is like, oh, we heard from you, we listened, we're gonna walk it back. And then I have to react to that. So I'm waiting a little bit. I'm probably gonna give this at least 1 month. So this happened early October 2024, probably early November is when I'll start to say, okay, what's happened over the last month? What of that is different for recently? And what of that is different over October of last year, or generally speaking, this time of year for me? And what do I think I want to do about it? It doesn't mean I'm going to do it. It means, what am I starting to feel about? What are my feels? And I would probably make a list of that and then see, okay, let's play out each scenario. So one thing I'm going to do immediately is I am going to put the discounted shipping on everything, because I mostly do it on everything anyway. I send out lots of offers and they get it that way. And now I really need people to see that mine has discounted shipping over the next guy. So I'm going to do that across the board, because that will factor into someone's buying decision when they're looking at the search results and they see 3 pairs of pants that meet their criteria. One of them has discounted shipping and 2 of them don't. They're going to click on the one with discounted shipping, because now they already know that the fees are blah, blah, blah. Or they're going to find out real quick that the fees are blah, blah, blah if they didn't know already. And so at least mine presented itself with an advantage from the beginning, which is in their search results. So that, I think, is important. It's not going to override, good photos and a good listing and all of that, but let's assume that we all have all of that for right now. Now we're just playing on, okay, now we're setting apart the Poshmark ambassadors from the not Poshmark ambassadors. Poshmark ambassadors have discounted shipping. So that, I think, is a crucial right away thing to do. Then, like I said, I'm going to be watching how this all goes. My initial thoughts are that I will probably drop prices on some items. Most likely the higher priced items, like the over $100 items kind of thing, because there will be more wiggle room there. My fees will be significantly less, and their buyer costs will be significantly more. And so I think that if I have something listed for $300, let's say, it would be really good, and I haven't done the math on this yet, if I could get it to be a $250 item, a $250 item, because that will now put me in the $100 to $250 price category and the $250 to $500 price category on the low side, and it will be lower for them to see up front versus them seeing it at $300 and hoping for an offer or whatever. And so my thought was too, well, could I send out deeper discounts? So maybe if it's a high-end item, I want to send out a 60 and 70% offer instead of a 50% offer like I normally do. But I think that on a high-ticket item, having the price point be lower initially is going to be more beneficial, because it's that buyer psychology of $300 or $250. I think that is more important than it being $300. There's going to be people that I don't even get to like the item at $300 for me to be able to send my offers. Now, the low-end items are going to be tough because I still send out 50% offers. So I really do still need those to be priced on the high side of the comps so that I can do my offer to liker strategy, which I like and I believe in, and I don't believe that this will change that, because I believe that pricing on the high side of the comps allows you to get in front of the buyer multiple times with those offers. So when you don't have wiggle room, you can't get in front of them with an offer. So I think that the low end will probably stay the same. And then in the middle range, this $15 to $50 range, this middle tier, where many of my items are, most of my items are, that I need to still kind of see how it plays out, because some of them, the fees aren't really that much different. So I can't just go upending my Apple cart and pricing really low for foregoing my offer to liker strategy that I really like and believe in. But if that offer to liker strategy isn't being able to work, or isn't being able to, I don't even know what English words are at this point, I'm brain dead. But if it's not working, then I will have to make a change. So right now, waterfall, offer to likers, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, like all that. I'm still gung-ho on that. I'm still doing all that. None of that's changing. I think I might in the future, after a month or so, price lower on the high-end items. Probably won't change the low-end items. The middle of the road, I'm still not sure. And I'm sure that's probably where you guys are, most of your items are. And so I think that that may be an individual decision. For those of you that don't do my kind of offer to liker strategy, where I say price on the high side of the comp, so you have wiggle room up to 50% off to send out offers. If you don't already subscribe to that and you have your item priced at $25, and now because you're going to make a little bit more in fees, you want to lower it to $22, fine. I don't know that that's going to get you any more sales, but you could do that. I probably won't do that because if I have it at 25, which, I don't have a lot of things at 25, but if I did have it at 25 and then I lowered it to 22, then with my 50% offers, now I'm down to 11. I don't really like that. So I think for those of you that are bin shoppers, low cost of goods people, you have more wiggle room to lower a price and still have wiggle room for offers too. For those of us that do pay up for items, and I'm saying $5 to $10 for me is, around what I do, those middle of the road items are going to be hard to really change the price on. So I'll have to kind of see how it goes. If it looks like sales are really just in the shitter, then I may do a test with a certain subset of items and lower those prices, and then I would put them on a Posh or VA exclusion list, and I wouldn't send the same offers out on those. And I would see how that goes and see if I get more full price sales, more bundle deals, things like that. The other thing is that this comes at a pooper of a time because I've been working on another big strategy. You guys know I just love tinkering with my strategies. And once I get them all dialed in, I'm like, okay, this is working. This is working really good. How can I do more? Like, how can I now make more sales? What strategy am I going to implement? So I'm actually working on one, kind of festering it out. I haven't implemented it yet, so I can't say that it works or doesn't work or anything, but I'm working on it. And so now this kind of threw a monkey wrench in it because I can still test it out. I just don't know if it's going to work as well. Is it going to work at all? I don't know. So we'll have to see. So stay tuned on that. But I think that everything's going to be fine. And I think that everyone shouldn't get so reactive to when changes are made. You can do what you want. You can be upset. Everybody's allowed to take their 5 minutes, have their feelings. But at the end of the day, I'm a business owner. This is my profession. This is my business. This is my job. This is my profession. And other people are part of my company and they rely on this business as well. So all of it is serious to me. It's not drama. It's not tea. It's not getting all up in arms. It's okay. The monkey wrench came in. What am I doing? And it's not the uproar and the emotion and Poshmark cares about us, Poshmark doesn't care about us, or any of that kind of stuff. It's, am I going to make sales tomorrow? Am I going to make sales a week from now? Is what I'm doing going to work, or do I need to change something? How can I survive this catastrophe? And I'm not saying it's a catastrophe, but this crisis, this impending issue that is an uproar. And so I'm less emotional about it. I just kind of dig in and I go quiet because I need to figure it out. And like I said at the beginning, I appreciate when you guys look to me, not like I'm somebody, but you're looking for answers. But also know that me and every other Poshmark influencer or reselling influencer or person that makes content that shares information, we're all still figuring it out too. Like, none of us have the inside track, I'm pretty sure. I don't. And so just be patient with us. Some people put information out right away because they want to be first and out there, and that's great. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If they feel confident in what they're saying, then great. I didn't feel confident the minute it was happening saying anything. I didn't feel confident then because I needed to figure it out. I needed to touch stuff. I needed to break things. I needed to make some pretend sales. I needed to talk to my reseller friends. I had to call my sister, like she's a reseller. I had to like do stuff to figure it out. And then even still, once I even get the initial like what's happening, that doesn't mean that I need to immediately make changes. Sometimes it does. Like I said, I do think in my initial assessment now, I do think it's important to put the discounted shipping everywhere. I think it's still important to send out offers with discounted shipping that match Poshmark's so that it's going out to the buyer with discounted shipping, but Poshmark is covering it. I've seen the proof of that. So I'm rested assured there. And so I feel like that's a quick and easy thing I can do to kind of help buyers see on the search result level that this is a discounted shipping situation. Excuse me. So sorry. I asked Poshmark for those other things because I think those are important and I don't have access to like put banners and things. Like they can only do that. So I think that was important to say right away. But the rest of my assessment is still ongoing, because we're all living through this. So I have an idea, I have inklings, I have thoughts about what I might want to do, but I wouldn't tell you, go drop all your prices. Like that would be irresponsible of me, especially if I wasn't doing it. I can't go out there and say, everybody should drop your prices. This is the greatest thing ever. Because I don't know that. I don't feel confident in that. And I would never tell you to go and do something if I didn't do it myself or I didn't believe it to be true. So, for those of you that are still watching, I know I've rambled. I just hope that you understand that it's not that I didn't want to say anything. And for those other, Poshmark content creators, stuff that maybe haven't said anything, it's not that we don't want to say anything. It's that we're still figuring it out. We don't know what to say yet. And there may not be a change to make yet, because when they make the change, you need to see how that plays out. So if you also go making a change, then now how do you know what's working and what's not working? Was it your change or was it Poshmark's change? So I think you have to go little by little, slowly, to see what's happening. You can't make too many changes at once. You'll never know what's working and what's not. And you need to give the changes that were made out of your control by Poshmark a chance to filter through until we see what's going on. And then you can start to react to it. And I get it. We all want this money. We may all need this money. I think it will be in flux. I think that sales could go down for a little while. I always see a dip during, the real Q4 time. Like right now it's early Q4 and it's still people kind of buying into fall things and stuff. So I don't usually see my dip here. I usually see my dip more of like when people are actually buying presents. Though I have more giftables in my closet this year, but I think that that's where my dip usually happens. And so I'm not expecting that I'm going to have it all figured out even by the end of this year fully, because this is normally a time where I have problems. Also, it's a really wacko time out there in the economy. We have an election. We have people. I'm not the only one out there who has taken stock of their budget. My husband is in sales. Obviously, I'm selling things on the interwebs. And so, we're all looking at our budgets. And I went for a massage the other day and I said, hey, I'm going to probably not come in the next month or two. I just kind of want to like cash hoard a little bit. And she was like, I just went and I canceled 2 of my subscriptions. She said, you're not the only one. And I think people out there are very unsure right now of many things, and they're tightening up. And so, and they know that Christmas is coming and the holidays are coming. So they know they're going to be putting out for that. And so they're tightening up in other things. So I think we have, as usual, confounding things all on top of each other. We've got economy, election, interest rates, this port thing that's happening, which is a whole other thing, and potential shortages. There was the hurricane that just there's always something. Now Poshmark makes the changes, like it just, so listen, we have to be on our toes, but you also just can't be reckless with your business. You have to see how things play out. And our initial, fix it mentality is to fix it, patch it up, and pretend like no water's coming in the boat. But you have to figure out where the water's coming in on the boat to know where to fix, I guess, is my best analogy. I don't even know if that makes sense. I've never been in a broken boat, but that's where we are with this. So I wish you guys all the best. You know that I'm always thinking about how to bring information to you. I always share what I know, but if I don't know it or I don't feel confident, then I'm not sharing it. And so please have patience with me. As I know more, as I figure out more, I will share it. Also, too, this one I'm kind of doing now and it's going to get posted. But you guys know that I usually batch record my videos like big time because I take off during the holidays and I take off during the summer. So I only record like 2 times a year. I have a very strict batch recording schedule. I'm starting to open it up a little bit more so I can get 2 videos in a week now. If you haven't noticed, I've started doing 2 videos a week just to kind of like continue to build. But that's what works for my business. That's what works for my lifestyle. And that's what I'm able to do. And so I hope that that works for you too, because I'm here to help. I want to help you guys. And, I am always answering my questions and comments and things like that. So if you have those kinds of things, I'm always answering them. But as far as the videos go, I don't always put something out if I'm not 100% sure. And I'm sure that you guys wouldn't want me to go out there and say a whole bunch of hoo-ha that I didn't actually believe in. So I wish you guys the best. We will make it through this. It will be fine. Poshmark will either walk something back or we will figure out what to do. And then that becomes our new normal and we just march forward. We're Poshmark sellers. We're tough. We can do it. So we sell things on the internet. So that means you have to be tough. So I wish you guys the best of luck and I will see you next time.